Namaste, Jai Bharat. This is about Myanmar, province, the Arakan army, and Bangladesh Rohingyas, etc. Primarily the junta army and Myanmar. It appears, of course, there's some problem here that we don't get news reliable always. Not news. All news agencies have access to many places, including Balochistan. Uh, what we get normally is a sting news operations. That sporadic kind of reporting from persons who are actually paid by some agencies indirectly or directly. So that's the kind of news we get. So we have to speculate. We have to speculate the possibilities of what's happening there. Otherwise, we really don't have a picture of what's happening in Myanmar, what's happening in the junta army, what's happening in Rakhine province, what happens even in Bangladesh. We don't know. Bangladesh, one thing we are sure, is absolute in chaos. Absolute in chaos because there is no law enforcement. There is no law and order because there is no one responsible for enforcing law and order in Bangladesh. So anyone is for anyone. That's the situation there. And we don't know. The people in Bangladesh suffer. That's for definite. That's for sure. There are no food, no electricity, no fuel, everything. No, forget about having medical facilities. I have seen Bangladeshis moving largely to Bharat for medical treatments, medical visas. Those affluent business people, basically from Bangladesh, I've seen them somehow reaching Calcutta. When those are affluent, they take a flight to Calcutta and then they fly to Bangalore and they'll go to this particular hospital in Narayana, especially when they have heart problems and of course neuro kinds of things. So they used to come and see. We know that in the entire world, medical facilities in Bharat are not very expensive and are excellent. One of the best kind of thing in the world. We had been doing in the past also, now it's increasingly becoming better. The accessibility to medical facilities is very solid and strong in Bharat. So people come to Bharat for medical treatment. And Bangladeshis used to come just like that free. Come and stay for long periods of time. I've seen personally the areas. There are many apartments meant for these Bangladeshi people coming to Bharat for treatment, and there are apartments where even utensils are for rent. Everything is for rent. There's a TV for rent, furniture for rent, utensils for rent, gas for rent. Not very expensive. That's important. Not at all very expensive. And the Bangladeshis, take some way a flight, and if they have contact with these agencies, this is a profession going on. They contact the agencies, so they will be picked up. How many of you are coming? So people from Bangladesh come for hospital treatment for one person, but they come in large numbers. Family, children also sometimes are seen. The family comes, so they are picked up from railway station. They are shown their apartment, shops right under the place where they stay, right in front of them. They have all the Bangladeshis food. The fish eaters mostly. Their kind of fish has been brought and sold in the market because that's a flourishing business. Used to be, which is not the case now. Which should not be the case now. So they used to come with all facilities. And then I've seen in Narayana Hospital the boards written in Bengali, signboards written in Bangla, and I've seen shopkeepers around them speaking Bangla reasonably well, because most of the Bangladeshis coming, they can't speak Hindi, so they would speak Bangla. And these people have picked it up because they're businessmen. For them, it's we speak Bangla, the people will come to go to them. I've seen shopkeepers, Kannada speaking mother tongue shopkeepers of Karnataka, they speak Bangla because they had been interacting with Bangladeshi people who are coming for hospital treatment on a regular and continuous basis. So this is one thing which I've personally seen. All these things stopped. The situation must be miserable. And all are Muslims. this once I met a person, Bangladeshi, in a shop. I casually asked him what's his name. He said he's Chakrabarti. Asked the first name, Hindu name. Then he asked you, I mean, Hindu, how do you live? And he said, okay, going on. Otherwise, they're all coming from Bangladesh, living here comfortably. Even you find them walking on the roads like they walk in bazaars or Mymensingh and Sylhet and Chittagong. So casually, just wearing lungis and freely walking, comfortable. They don't realize they're in another nation. That kind of freedom they take. They have the habit of taking over freedom. All that kind of thing. Everything is stopped. Everything is stopped because of this Nobel laureate Muhammad Yunus and his implanted deep state, whatever it is. So Bangladesh situation is unknown because we don't get proper reporting. That's the point I was trying to make. And there are some reports which come to say that Rakhine province is completely under the control of the Arakan army. Rakhine is a very sensitive place in the sense they are an area of Theravada Buddhism. Theravada Buddhism is original Buddhism which is other than Mahayana Buddhism. Mahayana Buddhisms get the name as Mahayanis because the way term explains that Mahayana is greater vehicle. Theravada is the original Buddhism which has some more rigidity. Therefore there will be less number of people with the Theravada Buddhists. Mahayana is a greater vehicle which can carry more maximum people. So that's how they name themselves as Mahayanis or Mahayana. Theravada is the Mahayanis called Theravadins as Hinayana, lesser vehicle. So that's the kind of thing. We are not that interested in the dispute. So Theravada Buddhists are more rigid kind of people, more simple kind of people, more sensitive kind of people. The fighters are mostly Mahayanis. So very sensitive people, very original people. They believe in absolute non-violence and coexistence with the entire cosmos. That's the Vedic philosophy. And Buddhism is really extending Vedic philosophy, Veda Upanishadic knowledge traditions in their own perspective. That's what they do. That's what they have done for all these years. And that was infected, that's the word I would like to use, by the Rohingyan Muslims. And Rohingyans are Bengali speaking people. Broken Bengali, they say, it's a mixture of Bengali, Assamese, they say, but nonetheless, they're Bengali speaking people. Their roots and origin is in Bangladesh. They have infected, and then to resist the infectors, the Rakhine province people had to form a kind of makeshift army, and that is the Arakan army. And the Arakan army grew. They seem to have, now the present day report says that they have thrown out all the Rohingyans from Rakhine province, and they have even repelled the junta army of Myanmar from Rakhine province. So it appears that Rakhine province is totally under the control of Arakan army. And in the meantime, Arakan army has captured the entire border. Some 371 kilometers or 271 some kilometers they have controlled. That's the entire border. Myanmar, Bangladesh border, they have captured some riverlets that are under the control of Arakan army. So some portion of Bangladesh shall go, it seems, to Arakan army if they control, and possibly the Myanmar kind of junta army, which is a kind of proxy of China. Then they'll be lucky. The Myanmar people should be lucky to get their own Buddhist rule in place of China. China is supposed to be Buddhist, but they're communists. They have nothing to do with anyone except richness, money. These days, communism is money. There's no communists in the world, and the Chinese communism is bourgeois communism. No, the exploitation of the exploiters are going on. In Marx's own words, extrapolation of extrapolators. That's what Marx says. So that's what is going on. So possibly, in distant future, Myanmar should go into kind of democracy, and the Rakhine province should become autonomous, and some portion of Bangladesh will fall out, all because of the idiosyncrasy of this man, Yunus, who is a simple puppet in the hands of somebody else, and he let the insurgents out of the jail, all kinds of confusion, and who suffers in the in the process? The common people of Bangladesh who have nothing to eat. Tears, sweat, and hunger they get inherited now. Tears, sweat, and hunger they get inherited from the state. This is the situation of Bangladesh. But in the process, the Arakan army becomes a kind of regular army, and they made definite progress. So we shall be taken with some other thought in due time. Till then, it's Namaste, Jai Bharat, Jai Sri Ram.